the national championship. There's going to be a turn somewhere, and it's just going to be good.
And I'll be honest, I like Stevens on the mic just as much as I like The Miz and Chris Jericho. Like,
oh, he's awesome on the mic.
Yeah, he's got the perfect like ego for it. It's beautiful. So then we got to the main event, huh?
The main event is great, Pasty. This was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I'm a huge fan of 2 out of 3 falls match. We had the defending champion, Nick Aldis, taking on the Cowboy James Storm. Pasty, as many great matches do, I don't have a lot to talk about this match about, other than it was just super fun, kept me on the edge of my seat. I didn't know who was going to win. I was so excited, having so much fun, marking out like crazy. And that's before we happened to see a certain mustachioed villain appear at the top of the bleachers, Pasty.
Yes, indeed. Marty Scurll made his NWA debut, I guess you could say, because he was just in the Crockett Cup not that long ago.
Right. But contracted debut, we would say.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is there a term on his contract yet? Is that something we're getting into later? Or do we not know yet?
No, it's pretty, we do not know.
Yeah.
We just do not know. But obviously, anybody who listens to this knows I marked out like crazy. I was marking out the whole match, and then I marked out even more.
Yeah. I wasn't even planning on watching this show, and I hit Facebook, and that was what popped up right away, and I'm like, fuck, and I closed it like I was anticipating watching it and didn't want that spoiled for myself.
Yeah. This was, all in all, this was a really solid pay-per-view. If you like NWA Power, you're going to really enjoy this. If you don't like Power, but you like the old NWA, I think you'd also like this because it takes a little bit of the hokiness out and adds a little bit more seriousness to it. The matches are longer. And then, honestly, ODB, Marty Scurll, that was really great. The only thing I really noticed as a negative about this, other than if you want to say hokey or whatnot, which can be a negative, there was just a lot of what do you want to say? A lot of hokey finish, a lot of tricky kind of sneaky finishes. There wasn't a lot of clean, good, straight up finish. A lot of shenanigans. How's that?
There you go.
Probably too many shenanigans. We could have knocked the shenanigans down a bit.
Yeah, I'm all for shenanigans, so I got nothing to say there.
There you go.
Besides, the shenanigans brought me the 4-3 win on this pay-per-view.
You got to dig it. Plus, you would have won the tiebreaker. Best match of the night, Pasty. I'm easily calling 2 out of 3 falls match. And this pay-per-view, I'm going to give a B+. Could have definitely been better, but it easily could have been worse for as gimmicky as NWA seems to be going right now.
Yeah. Did they still shoot it at their normal place?
Yeah.
Same amount of fans and everything, huh?
A little better turnout, but yeah.
Good shit. I would love to go see that show sometime, man. Just to be in there.
God, wouldn't that be great to be in that audience? That would be awesome. We'd have to
get way too drunk before the show started, though. Like I want to be that one guy yelling directly at Aaron Stevens halfway through his promo.
Yeah, that would be great.
Sorry, I'm that asshole, folks. But that asshole also brings in the next segment with this song. Because it is time for your season finale, Savage Sentinel! Woo! And we're going to start this one off with a huge congratulations to AEW. The company announced Monday that they reached a milestone of 100,000 live events tickets sold.
Damn, in such a short amount of time. Holy shit. That is probably a record for a pro wrestling company within their first year.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Shit. It's a shame they couldn't do the all-in numbers added into that.
Right.
That'd be a nice little bump. But they're doing good. By the end of November, AEW produced 16 live events and sold 91,222 with an average of 5,701 tickets sold per show.
That's pretty solid.
I like those numbers. It gives me some more hope for AEW, and sometimes I think I need that. To think 1 year ago we hadn't yet announced the launch of AEW, and our first show wouldn't occur until late May. And today we are celebrating more than 100,000 live event tickets sold. It's been an incredible run and a credit to our talent, our partners at TNT, and our great wrestling fans for making it happen, stated AEW President and CEO Tony Khan.
This is awesome. With some of the news, I mean, we talked about it last week, some of the news of dwindling ticket sales and some bad pictures of empty seats. It's awesome to know that despite all of that, I honestly think this is the only pro wrestling company that's ever sold 100,000 live events tickets in less than a year. That has got to be a fucking record, and an amazing record in this environment.
There you go. WWE, you're all about your records. It's time to induct AEW into the Hall of Fame.
I like that. I like that a lot.
No, good on you, boys, and enjoy your holiday break.
So basically, we kind of have an update from a story that we broke last week about some failures of the drug tests. In an interview with Primera Hora, Primo Colon is claiming that his suspension that was reported on last week's episode of ours is due to him not traveling to the United States from Puerto Rico to take the tests that WWE required. Straight from Primo, he says, I was not on the road. I was not scheduled for any events in the near future. I'm in Puerto Rico when they called me suddenly not to use me, but to travel for a doping test. I was ready to do it, but I told them that I was in Puerto Rico, and I thought that I was willing to go to a place that they chose to test me without any problem. I was not going to pay for a trip just to get tested for doping. Then I didn't hear anything from the company about it, and I thought they were going to call me when they found a place to do the test, Primo said. Almost 2 months passed, and I get a letter that I am suspended, according to WWE, because I refused to take the test, and that is not correct. They took it as I was out of the country, but I was available. I don't want them to say that I failed the test positive, because that is totally false and incorrect. They usually do the doping test at events. Someone appears to collect the urine of the fighters, employees, referees, to do their evaluation about once a month. I was in Puerto Rico. I have to clarify it because my reputation is worth more than any check. Primo revealed also his current contract status, saying, I have a contract with them until October 2020. They can call me and use me at any time if they want. If they don't want to use me, they still have to pay me. They are using new talent, and so is the rest of the industry. So
Bobby Roode then tweeted, I was in Puerto Rico too.
Right? I mean, it's a reasonable excuse. Doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's not true.
No, but if it is true, it's definitely fair. Like, Primo, I wouldn't go to fucking, Florida to take a drug test if I wasn't being used and I was home.
Oh, no, and what is...
country... Like,
and if you're not even being used, what does it even hurt you to be fucking suspended when you're working at your father's wrestling company down in Puerto Rico, World Wrestling Council?
Right.
I mean, if you're getting paid to wrestle somewhere else anyways, it doesn't hurt you to be suspended from WWE.
Couldn't his father just fax him his latest results from that? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, Puerto Rico is known for, their upstanding drug policies.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's hope at least this gets scrubbed from the records, because if Primo isn't doping, he doesn't deserve that shit. WWE shouldn't expect that from talent that lives outside of the
For sure, legit. And I don't think this is going to hurt him. I don't think they want him back anytime soon. I think he's going to finish up his career in World Wrestling Console. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And this isn't going to hurt his standing there. So
wasn't there just something like they were released, or one of them was released? Like,
no, they're both still. As far as I know, they're both still under contract, and they're both also working for Carlos Colon.
Well,
I could be wrong.
Let's hear your excuse, Bobby Roode. That's why he grew the mustache.
I was in Atlanta. They didn't send me a plane ticket. I was in Atlanta.
They haven't been using me. Who's Dolph Ziggler? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sir, it's because you're on drugs now. I know. That's what I've been trying to say. What?
I feel like Keith Lee has buried Bobby Roode, because Bobby Roode was glorious, and now Keith Lee is basking his glory. So now Bobby Roode's just kind of out, you know?
Yeah, they killed the glorious thing. It was so great, and they just didn't use it right.
Well, it's because they didn't use him right. They didn't use him, period. Like,
True.
What 100. A wasted signing. That's my opinions there. It hurts me to say it. Just like it hurts these people to be in our injury report. Kairi Sane suffered a concussion during the main event of TLC. Sane started moving abnormally at a certain point in the match, and then she received a spear from Flair poorly on the outside of the ring, which could be a sign that she was already out on her feet by that time. Ask Goldberg, he knows a thing or two about that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Sane probably suffered the injury when she was hit on the head as Flair and Lynch were throwing monitors around ringside.
No way.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet reported on Monday evening that Sane was not cleared to wrestle. And then Asuka fought a singles match against a jobber, I think. It wasn't a jobber. It was like an NXT one-shot call-up. Weird.
So this is sad because I've seen a lot of... You know, we got this with Rick and Morty. We got this with Star Wars, and that's poignant because Rick and Morty's on their new season, and Star Wars has their last Skywalker movie out today, folks.
Yes.
And we're seeing it now with WWE, and it seems to be that fandom that is mostly male, that when females start moving up, for some reason these males feel threatened and have to shit on them. And I've heard so many people talking about never let the women main event again. WWE started losing viewers when the women were main eventing. WWE is going to hell because the women are main eventing. Number one, they were going to hell long before the women's fucking revolution.
Yeah.
So back that the fuck up.
And Evolution was a damn good pay-per-view.
This is... no shit. And this is, like you said, similar to the Goldberg-Undertaker thing. If Kairi Sane was blacked out and wrestling, give her fucking credit for finishing the match blacked out. Just as much credit as we give Mick Foley for the Hell in a Cell match, which, by the way, Mick Foley sucked at.
Yeah, don't forget that this wasn't just a regular match. This is a tag team TLC match. When it comes to the TLC pay-per-view, this is probably the most dangerous match on the card.
Exactly. So back that up a little bit. And with that being said, if you're going to shit on anybody, shit on WWE personnel that should have noticed the signs and pulled her from the match and let it remain as either a handicap match or however you want to do it. It's a TLC match, so there's no rules saying that both women... I just feel bad that women wrestlers, quote unquote, in a whole are the ones getting shit on for the main event. Maybe not being that great. You watched it, Pacey, and of course we're going to get into more detail later. So I can't really say that because I haven't. I wanted to go back and watch this match just because of this, and I haven't. But kudos to her for finishing the match, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, hardcore. I'm hoping she makes a speedy recovery and comes back soon. I really don't. I don't like that they all of a sudden switch. I mean, they're hot right now. I understand them having Asuka compete singles.